Hello everyone, welcome to the third video of our Ask by High channel, initiated a few days back for providing guidance to the learners of MBA program of IGNOU in the distance mode, etc. You all know I have taken up Human Resources Management course in semester 1 of MBA program of IGNOU, a core subject paper, as my first course being covered in my new channel Aspire High. The course code being MMPC 2. Myself, Dr. Raman Rao. I had my MBA from IGNOU itself. I had my doctorate in management studies from Acharya Nagarjuna University, the state university in Andhra Pradesh state. In the earlier two videos, I have covered initial topics of Unit 1, Concept and Evolution of HRM. Now, the remaining topic, that is the last topic in Unit 1, is going to be taken up in this video session. Now we shall take up the seventh topic, Components of HRM, in the Unit 1, Concept and Evolution of HRM. In the first video in this series, we have covered the first two topics, the definition and evolution of HRM. In the second video, we have covered objectives of HRM, importance of HRM, scope of HRM, and nature of HRM. Thus, the 6 topics are already covered. This is the seventh and the last topic in Unit 1, Components of HRM. There are 8 components of HRM, which we will discuss one after another. The first one being Human Resource Organization. Human Resource Organization ensures that, or is intended to ensure that, every aspect of the organization, please understand the wording, every aspect of the organization, employment, motivation, and management of people. The management of people is a very broad word. It covers the whole gamut of your HRM. So thus, all these things are to be integrated with the strategic objectives of the business and contribute to the successful achievement of those objectives. The importance of achievement of the objectives of the organization was discussed at length and the first topic, definition of HRM itself. That means objectives of the organization are paramount, we said. So, human resource organization function has to take care of that. Further, there is another thing, that is cultural issues. Cultural issues will come here. That is, every organization will have a distinct culture. For example, as a dress code. When we talk of dress code, in some organizations, there will be one and the same dress color or a dress pattern for all the employees from top to bottom, no cadre differentiation. But in some organizations, the dress code will be such that it varies from cadre to cadre with a differentiation. So what is important is every organization will have their own culture. So organization culture is of very much importance in the HRM subject. The desired corporate culture or the organization culture is to be put in place, whatever is expected by the top management, if it is not in existence at the beginning of the company or organization. But at the same time, if it is already there, it should be reinforced, that is, it should be maintained and strengthened. Organizational development programs and organizational development interventions are required for the desired results in the areas of teamwork, motivation, leadership, communication, conflict management, and change. Here comes the important current developments, ODI programs, organizational development interventions. Nowadays, whenever a company is finding something like a negative trends in their sales or declining trend in profits, something wrong with the organization, then they are entrusting the job to a management consultancy firm, which is going to conduct research and is trying to find out the root cause for the deficiencies or non-achievement of the objectives of the organization. The detailed research is going to be undertaken by them. Then based on the observations or findings, they are going to conduct workshops or programs. They are called ODI programs, Organizational Development Interventions for different cadres of employees. Suppose during their study, if they find that lack of motivation at the lower level is the root cause, they will focus on it. Sometimes they may find out that teamwork at a particular cadre is not there, or the leadership itself may be having some deficiencies. In this way, organizational development interventions undertaken by the consultancies are going to bring the required change in the right direction, so that whatever deficiency is there is overcome in a short period of time. This is a very recent development and also widely being adopted by many organizations. This is all about human resource organization. The second one is human resource planning. It is very simple to understand. We have already discussed earlier. The manpower requirement, the existing manpower, the required manpower, the gap at different cadres, and not only that, the present manpower and the future manpower, and all those things are to be taken care by the human resource planning. And automatically it implies that whenever a recruitment is happening, the data is going to be coming from human resource planning function. Once again, I would like to convey to all the students that once we actually commence from the discussion on units from block 2 onwards, where a detailed discussion of all these things will come, a comprehensive understanding, much deeper understanding will be there for the student, and ultimately the term examination will be taken up at the end of the entire course. Therefore, by the time he or she will be in a position to identify what are the main points, need not necessarily be confining to what is presented in the slide. Later they can add or delete and identify the important key points for presenting in the answers in the examination. Third one is human resource systems. Human resource systems are nothing but the programs to recruit, appraise, pay and take care of the well-being of the employees. That is, once again, every time we are talking of the whole gamut of human resource management. That is, we are discussing right from the first video, that is the definition onwards. Now, that's why I said there is a repetition, but the repetition will be getting closer with this video. From the next video onwards, I will assume that all these topics are understood well by the students, and therefore I will try to move a little bit faster also, in more particularly in unit 2. So what are the main programs? Because it covers the whole gamut. The recruitment management, you know it. Information management. Information management means the system policies and procedures that are formulated, they should be clearly be defined, and not only that, the information flow should be there. That means those policies will be, or the rules and regulations should be made available to all the employees concerned. That means they should be made available in the internal portal of the organization nowadays. The training management, the performance management, how a performance is assessed. Performance also we'll discuss later in subsequent chapters or units. That is, performance appraisal includes the potential appraisal, all those things. There is a difference between a performance appraisal and potential appraisal. We'll see way forward. The reward management, the monetary incentives, non-monetary incentives, the career paths. In certain time, in certain cases, there somebody specializations are there. There may not be much career growth. How to satisfy them? All those things are there. Health and safety management, discipline management, because a deviant behavior has to be set right. Otherwise, it will spread like anything to others also across the cadre. That's why that is also having a lot of importance. And finally, as already discussed just now, that is the culture management. This is all about human resource systems. Human resource development is the fourth one. Please understand the wording clearly. It is human resource development. Of course, we have been talking of development, all these things under HRM right from the beginning. But when in an examination, HRB is specifically asked, please understand that we have to start with this type of definition. It is defined as a process by which the employees of an organization are helped to acquire or sharpen capabilities required to perform various tasks. Acquire means initial stages. Sharpening means they are called nowadays workshops being conducted, capacity building over a period of time, and functions associated with their present or expected future roles. A person may be performing at a particular junior management level well, but the expectations of role in middle management may be slightly different and higher in the volume and also the complexity of decision making. Then what happens is the sharpening of capabilities, that is skill sets, have to improve in such a way the person when got elevated to the middle management cadre, you should be able to handle the role effectively. Second is making them realize their inner potential for their own and our organizational development. This also we discussed at length in earlier video. That means whatever internal potential is there, either it is going to help the individual, say in satisfaction of acquiring a qualification, but ultimate objective is it should help the organizational development. That we should never forget. And the third one is develop a organizational culture where superior subordinate relationship, teamwork and collaboration among different subunits are strong and contribute to the organizational health and pride of the employees. That means we are repeating that organizational culture. Why we are telling frequently is that culture varies from organization to organization. A person once recruited, his attitude is to be tuned to the requirement of the organization. So his mindset is to be properly be attuned to this culture of the organization. That is why there is always a limitation of age for recruitment at different levels, because with the passage of age, changing of mindset will be very difficult through training intervention. This is the definition of human resource development. This is one of the important components of HRM. The fifth component is human resource relationships. It deals with handling of employees individually and also collectively as members of the trade unions or associations. First, handling of employees individually. What does it mean? Suppose in an organization there is a higher level of attrition. One employee after another is leaving the organization. The reasons will be definitely be individual in nature. There is nothing like collectivity here. So then, to know the reasons, to know the root cause of attrition, the employees are to be handled individually. For that, a grievance redressal mechanism has to be there. For example, an employee may be dissatisfied with the performance appraisal system. Another employee is not satisfied with the remuneration that is being paid. And for some other employee, the working environment is not conducive to give us her best. So the reasons are quite varied and are individual in nature. In these cases, employees are to be handled individually. Next comes the collective handling. Here, collective handling means as members of the trade unions or associations directly dealing with the trade unions. Management union relationships have assumed a lot of importance nowadays in any organization. But whether a union exists or not in an organization, problem solving mechanism is very, very important and it should be put in place properly. It includes disciplinary matters and also grievance redressal mechanism. When I am repeating grievance redressal mechanism, it should be in the form of a policy, written policy, and should be made available in the internal portal of the organization, and it should be made available to all the employees down the line, so that an opportunity for venting out their grievances is provided in a structured and formal way. Good industrial relations are always desired for the growth and development of any organization. This will be better understood when we say in the negative way. That is, if the industrial relations are strained and if industrial unrest is going on in an organization for a few days or sometimes even for a few months, what happens is the work culture gets disturbed and it will be visible, its impact will be visible at the end of the financial year in the financial statements of the organization. This is mainly because some man hours will be lost and therefore automatically the output in that particular financial year will be less when compared to the desired level. So that's why IR is always very, very important. In fact, we are going to discuss at length in the last block, block 4, on this subject. One has to appreciate means understand and accept that dealing with unions often involves confrontation. But The top management should have a broad-minded approach to deal with unions, with adept handling, so that many issues can be solved across the table through negotiation. So one should not stretch things to a point of confrontation, finally leading to industrial unrest in an organization. This is all about human resource relationships. The next component, the sixth one, is human resource utilization. It is concerned with achieving the desired level of productivity. Higher productivity, the desired level of productivity is always definitely an important objective of any organization, no exception. In this context, we refer to Peters and Waterman, their statement stating that treat the employees as adults, treat the employees as partners in progress, treat the employees with respect and with dignity. Treating the employees with respect and with dignity was discussed at length while we discussed evolution of HRM, that is topic 2 in our first video itself. Thomas Peters and Robert H. Waterman are renowned management thinkers from United States. They jointly wrote a book, In Search of Excellence, in 1982, which is a bestseller and widely referenced in management studies. That's why we are referring to them, Peters and Waterman, when we are talking of human resource utilization. Further, motivation, proper appraisal of performance, performance linked incentive, these are all required for higher productivity. Of course, we had earlier discussed about performance linked incentive in our earlier videos. Proper appraisal of performance, it will be discussed at length, that performance appraisal, potential appraisal, all those things in the subsequent units. This is about human resource utilization as one of the important component of HR. The seventh component is human resource accounting. Human resource accounting is actually somewhat a newer development in the field of HRM. It means accounting for the people as a resources of the organization. Just like anything like a cost benefit analysis, here also taking an employee, suppose we are recruiting today 50 employees in a particular cadre for an organization, there will be a cost incurring. That is, the recruitment process, of course, will involve lesser expenditure, the selection and all that. Subsequently, industrial training, comprehensive training, job rotation, because initially their contribution will be less, like that. And finally, making them as a effective, efficient human resource for the organization. Till that time, some cost will be incurred. And what is expected? Ultimately, there will be a value addition to the organization. The value addition, if we see, ultimately the value addition can be the very broad approach is there should be a value addition to the net worth of the organization. That means the net worth of the organization has to increase. You may not be able to exactly measure the impact of these 50 people recruitment like that, but there should be something like a cost benefit analysis. That is all about human resource accounting. It helps in managerial decision making, say for budgeting for L&D. What does it mean? Suppose it is a smaller organization with lower level of income, total income, then in that case, they may be having a very lofty ideals of spending more and more on training and development, good. But at the same time, ultimately, the cost incurred, if it is going to be more rather than the benefit that is going to accrue to the organization, somewhere managerial decision making intervention is required. For that, this HRA, the data that is going to be given by them, is going to be helpful. The last component is human resource audit. It is intended to assess the effectiveness of the human resource function. Effectiveness, efficiency were also discussed at length in the last video. Those who are watching this video for the first time are requested to watch the previous 2 videos, wherein a number of fundamentals or conceptual understanding was made, was attempted, conceptual understanding was attempted at length. Therefore, the links are also given in the description for this video. They are also available in the playlist for the channel. I hope you will be subscribing to this channel. Here, when it comes to human resource audit, Just like any other audit, we cannot consider it, because normally an auditor, while conducting the audit, will go to the concerned department, you will take the papers, the record and all that, and verify whether they are in tune with the rules and regulations, regulatory compliance, and also standard accounting practices. But in the case of, in the similar way also it can be done. Suppose the HR auditor will go to a HR department and will take up the leaves record, whether leaves are sanctioned as per norms, as per eligibility, whether proper record of leave is maintained. Similarly, the TA bill sanction, whether TA bills are sanctioned as per the guidelines already put in place. All those things will be there. But that is not what we are meaning here in human resource audit. No. What we are expecting here is, what are the ultimate objectives of the organization? Whether proper organization design is replicated in the HR function. That means the performance of its human resources, along with the HR culture and policies, programs and practices of HR subsystem, whether they are properly fine-tuned to the achievement of the organizational objectives, the HR auditor is expected to verify. But it is a difficult task, because unlike other functions, other audits, he will be dealing with the people. He will be dealing with the people in the HR department, and also to know more details about what is really happening at the field level, he has to interact with the employees of the organization, and employees of the organization may not be opening out sometimes to tell that something is not satisfactory, or the performance appraisal system is not good, or the working environment is not good. There will be some limitation. But despite that, broadly we can say that it is a difficult task, but the HR auditor has to deal with individuals in a balanced way, keeping in mind the ultimate objectives of the organization. That is about human resource audit. With this, we have completed all the 8 components of HR. I expect, based on the coverage in the 3 videos, the student might have accomplished the learning objectives set forth in the course for this unit, that is concept and evolution of HRM. He or she would have understood what is the meaning and concept of HRM, the evolution of HRM, the scope, the objectives, and finally the components of HRM that are just discussed. We shall meet in our next video presentation coming up in a few days, wherein we shall start the next unit in block 1. Thanks for watching. Happy learning. Please subscribe to the channel so that more and more videos on other courses also, and even something related to other exams like UGC NET Unit 2 or Unit 3 would also be planned way forward. Thank you once again.